From Delaware's most award-winning radio news team, this is WDEL Video News. Here's Chris Carl.
Among Delaware's top stories for Thursday, January 10th, no ban on the yard waste ban. A state emergency notification plan for Delaware colleges is on hold. And a very happy birthday for a Wilmington woman. Here are the details. With the tabling of legislation in a House committee, the moratorium on the yard waste ban at Cherry Island landfill will soon come to an end. WDEL legislative correspondent Carl Konevsky reports from Dover.
The House Energy and Natural Resources Committee voted to table the bill sponsored by North Wilmington Republican Greg Lavelle that would have done away with the prohibition on yard waste. State Representative Diana McWilliams, a Wilmington Democrat, says the bill represented bad policy when it comes to protecting the environment.
I think yard waste has become like a symbol for recycling in general, and I think that the Delawareans are ready to go with it. They just want solutions. So to me, instead of going backwards with policy saying, okay, remove the yard waste ban, to me, we need to move forward with the solutions.
The ban has been on hold for a year, but Lavelle says with it in place, people will wind up paying more and not effectively increase recycling.
I think this is a bad plan. I think we could do a lot better, and we will not do better under the current situation. My hope was a year ago was to force a better plan.
Lavelle said if recycling is the goal, all recyclables should be banned from the landfill and not just yard waste. Reporting from Legislative Hall in Dover, I'm Carl Konevsky, 1150 a.m. WDEL.
30 grand worth of heroin is off the streets in Newcastle County, as are 7 illegal immigrants. They were cuffed during a drug sting Tuesday that ended with a search of a unit at the Red Clay Apartments. Police say the drugs were smuggled into the country in these golden owls. Police also found a semi-automatic handgun. All of the suspects are here illegally from Mexico, where they're likely to be again after being deported. Valero has filed a state application to reduce nitrogen oxide emissions at its Delaware City refinery. The application seeks state approval to install an enhanced form of its wet gas scrubbing technology. The company's application says it would reduce nitrogen oxide emissions by more than 500 tons annually. The application also says Valero would modify its wastewater treatment plant to handle the effluent the process would create. State environmental officials are reviewing the application and will hold public hearings. Coming up, good news economic-wise from DuPont. WDEL News continues in a moment.
The best place to buy your new floor is at your local Carpet One store, where we offer true flooring expertise, from a great selection of famous name floors to guaranteed installation. That's something you won't find at those big warehouses, internet sites, or traveling carpet shops. And with our 1,000 store buying power, we offer you the best warranties and the best values in flooring. Carpet One, the one store for your perfect floor.
You're the one, you're the one.
Chemical maker DuPont has raised its earnings outlook for 2007 as well as its profit forecast for 2008. The Wilmington-based company cites strong fourth quarter results and prospects for growth in emerging markets for the improved outlook. DuPont expects 2007 earnings to be at the upper end of its previously announced range of $3.15 to $3.20 a share, excluding one-time items. DuPont says 2007 earnings growth will be 11% or better, despite higher raw material prices and the sluggish housing and automotive markets. DuPont also boosted its 2008 earnings outlook to a range of $3.35 to $3.55 a share. The sponsor of legislation calling for warning sirens on college campuses in Delaware has agreed to take a step back in pushing for the program. WDEL's Carl Konevsky reports.
State Representative Joe Moreau, a Pike Creek Republican, along with members of the House Public Safety and Homeland Security Committee, heard from Rick Armitage of the University of Delaware, which implemented new warning procedures after last year's tragedy at Virginia Tech.
To spend money only on sirens rather than be able to have spent money on the emergency notification system that we did purchase that lets us send out a text message and a voicemail message to all these cell phones, we really think that was a better use of our the money that we had to be able to direct to these kinds of concerns.
As a result, Moreau decided to rethink his proposal.
I'm not married to the siren. I'm married to safety. I'm married to notification. I'm married to being able to have an informed student body and faculty.
Moreau said he'll introduce a resolution calling on Delaware colleges and universities to report what safety and notification improvements they've made in the wake of the tragedy at Virginia Tech and Delaware State University.
The state insurance commissioner and a group of lawmakers known as the Kids Caucus want to make sure every child in Delaware has health insurance. WDEL's Carl Konevsky has that story from Dover.
Matt Den says a bill introduced in Dover could result in many Delaware families finding out their children can be covered by the state children's health insurance program.
The process is very simple. The school districts will gather up the information on free and reduced price lunch eligibility from parents willing to disclose it, forward it to DHSS, and DHSS will then reach out to the parents.
State Senator Lyon Sorensen, a Newark Republican, says DHSS would then help families sign up for coverage, something that brings long-term benefits.
They're much more likely to get routine care, preventative care. If you don't have insurance, you only take your child to the emergency room when they're deathly ill. And this way kids can get the immunizations, get the well child visits, and get the preventative work that make them much healthier in the long run.
About 5,000 kids a year are enrolled in S-CHIP, with another 8,000 eligible kids going without coverage. Reporting from Legislative Hall in Dover, I'm Carl Konevsky, 1150 AM, WDEL.
A Wilmington woman has celebrated her 110th birthday. WDEL's Melanie Armstrong was there.
Wally McBride Baker was born January 9th, 1898 in Brandywine 100. Her secret to her long life?
Just keep on getting up in the morning, go to bed at night, and sleep, and do everything that's right.
Family and friends celebrated with her at the Parkview Nursing Center in Wilmington.
She's always been a lot of fun, always really willing to laugh. Everybody's always had a good time when she's been around.
Mrs. McBride Baker has 7 great-great-grandchildren. Her family must have good genes. A sister lived to be 105, another 102.
What a wonderful surprise it is to see you all here. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you.
Melanie Armstrong, 1150 AM, WDEL.
Quite a comeback for the Blue Hens. WDEL Sports and your Delaware AccuWeather forecast coming up.
Looking to gain an edge in the technology or design field? Wilmington College's Division of Information Technology and Advanced Communications offers state-of-the-art facilities equipped with the latest tools. Did you know that Wilmington College has been preparing students for careers in media arts and technology over the past 7 years? Enjoy hands-on experience and personal attention from instructors drawn straight from the industry. To learn more, visit wilmcoll.edu. Wilmington College. Achieve balance, achieve success.
I'm Peter MacArthur.
I'm Melanie Armstrong, and here are Delaware's top stories at the top of the hour.
The most complete coverage of the news that matters in Delaware. Every weekday morning, 5:30 till 9 on 1150 AM WDEL.
In WDEL Sports, Delaware fell behind by 19 points in the second half, but rallied to beat George Mason in overtime. WDEL's Sean Green has the highlights.
Delaware looking to start 4-0 in conference play for the first time since '99 as they hosted George Mason. Early on, Jim Leadsom with the dunk. He finished with 4 points. The Hens were up by 3. The Patriots, though, would take control. Will Thomas with the block. He would get it ahead to John Vaughn, who would drive coast to coast for the layup. Vaughn with 18 points. The Patriots up by 9 at the half. More Mason to start the second half. Here's Will Thomas getting the pass. He'd work inside and hit the little hook shot. He'd finish with 20 points. The Patriots up by 19, but the Hens would come back. Ensuing possession, the pass to Mark Egerson wide open. He'll take the 3 and pop. He had 23 on the night. Hens down just 3 late. Brian Johnson takes the 3 and hits. We're tied at 61 going to overtime. Off the opening tip, Edwin Santiago comes up with it, and he would hit the layup. The Hens would go up by 2. Hens would lead by 4 late. Mason with a chance to make it to 1, but the 3 by Vaughn, no good. Rebounded by Delaware. Monte Ross is shocked, but the Hens win 73-68.
In the NBA, Toronto handed the Sixers their 5th straight loss, 109-96. Willie Green led the Sixers with 18. Sixers back at home tomorrow night against the Chicago Bulls. Your WDEL Delaware AccuWeather forecast: cloudy today, limited sun, high 52. Tonight, rain, low 42. The rain continuing through tomorrow with a high reaching 60. Then a little bit cooler for Saturday, clouds, some sunshine, and a high of 50. Good news updates throughout the day. Delaware's top stories at the top of the hour on 1150 AM. And get WDEL News text alerts sent right to your cell phone. Sign up here at WDEL.com. I'm Chris Carl. Thanks for watching.